In today's video, we're going to be doing a draw with me, and we're going to draw this gold perfume bottle. Hi, I'm Jen, and this is JynDrawz. I'm going to be using that 48-piece marker set from Ohuhu, the Honolulu B markers. And I'm going to be using my Talens Sketchbook again, and this is my reference photo. Let's get to picking out the colors, and then we'll start sketching. I'm going to be using 4 different shades of yellow and a brown, 2 grays, a cool gray and a warm gray. This bottle was a little more tricky to sketch than I had anticipated on because you need to be, round and symmetrical on both sides, left and right. And it still turned out a little wonky in the end, but it's a sketch in my sketchbook and I'm happy with how it turned out in the end. So don't not sketch and because of you're waiting on perfectionism. Just give it a go. Everything's a learning experience, and the coloring was more important for me than being actually symmetrical and having it all be perfect in the end. First I laid down a base layer of the lightest yellow that I had. I layered that down just to get the paper nice and soaking wet so that we can easily blend out these next 3 colors that I chose to make this gold cap on this perfume bottle. I just kept layering on these yellows and darker yellows and just kept adding the shadows. I also did change the light source. I wanted to go from top left, as that's what I'm more used to, and I don't have to then think about where the shadows and everything are, because then I just know, okay, top left is where the sun is coming from, and then that's the lightest side, and then the right side is then the shade and the darker values. Because that's how I learned to draw jewelry with markers, and jewelry in general is usually the sun is on the top left, and then I don't have to think about that part, and I can just focus on the coloring and the shading and the shadows and adding any depth and dimension and trying to make it as symmetrical as possible and giving that illusion of metal and gold and the fluid of liquid gold in the bottle. For the glass topper on top, I used just that really light, cool gray color, filled it all in, did a couple layers there, because this one is so light that if you do only one layer, by the time it dries, you can't even see it on this paper anymore. I then also picked out that second darkest cool gray color to give some like dimension and depth and refraction. You know, like if there were things in the room, you would see those being in the reflected in the glass. I then added some shadows to the bottom, and then I blended it all out further with that lighter gray, adding some different refractions in it and reflections from the things around it in the room. I then added the warm gray to it because that gold color would also be reflecting into that glass. I then chose a fine liner to choose to do the lines for the metal to create that ringed look. I hadn't used these Ohuhu fine liners yet, and the yellow one was just too much of the similar color of the yellow marker that I had down, so I had to go with the darker one. I then just drew the rings in to simulate that round metal look, and to make it look like it was rings of metal across the top. I then let that dry, and then I'm adding a shadow so that you can see that the bottle is 3D. And as you can see at the top there, where I did only one pass with that light gray, by the time it's dried, it's like just gone. And at the bottom I did 2 layers. I then took a black Bic ballpoint pen to give it a bit more of an edge and darken up the shadows in the glass and just give it a more of a rendered look. I like the rendered look better and not so much of a realism, but just kind of a rendering look. And yeah, just darken those edges, and on the left I just did a quick little pass, and just so you see the edge of the bottle, filled in some shadows, darkened it up a little. And then I'm going to use my Polychromos white colored pencil to add some shine to it and reflection and give it a bit of a gloss. I could have used a white gel pen, but I thought that might be a little too over the top with this, and I wanted to keep it a little more simple and more basic. So I just used the white Polychromos colored pencil. I thought that was a nice effect to it and just gave it a bit of a shine, a bit of a gloss to it, so you still see that it's glass and it's metal, and just adding some highlights here and there, coloring it in. And then I'm also going to use a brown color erase Prismacolor pencil to darken up the shadows and add some more depth in those rings, just so you get a bit more of that roundness and the 3D, and that it's like individual pieces of metal going around the lid. And then I also used the pencil in the liquid in the base, and so that it gives a bit more depth to it as well. I did some like circle motions, and I wiped it with my finger to blend it out a little bit, just so you don't have that hard pencil line, because I wanted the fluid to still look very liquid and very not hard and not so solid, and just like a nice liquid. And if you guys made it to the end of the video, please comment a gold heart and let me know what you think of it. And if you like this kind of videos, please like, subscribe, turn on the bell notification. I'm going to be posting more videos like this, and I hope to see you in the next one. And tell me what you think. And if you guys give it a go, also let me know how it went for you. Thanks for watching. See you next time, guys. Bye.